Listen, you chuffsters, you're listening to the Out of Lives podcast with me, Simon Miller. Now chuff off.
You're in tune to Out of Lives. www.outoflives.net.
You can't handle the truth!
Hello and welcome to this very special Out of Lives minicast featuring the one, the only, Luke Gorman. How you doing, Luke? You alright?
I'm grand, how are you?
I'm fantastic. No, we're actually joined by a very, very special guest tonight. It's an award-winning journalist. It is the one, the only, Simon Miller. How you doing, Simon? You alright?
I'm good, thanks, man. I'm honoured and privileged to be here after that. Definitely, that's too nice of an introduction, but I'll take it.
Oh, no, you're very welcome. You're very welcome here. Welcome to Out of Lives.
Take what you can get.
Exactly.
That's all I can say in this world, yeah.
Exactly, because tomorrow the internet will be back to calling me, like, you know, all words under the sun, so I may as well take this and feel good before I move forward.
I'm sure the comments in here will all be positive.
And if they're not, I'm sure you can read them out in your comments voice.
Well, exactly, yeah. It's just the way you get around them. Just read it in a weird, snooty voice, and all of a sudden they're hilarious rather than offensive, so it's all good.
Well, anyway, can I say that you have the most handsome surname I have ever heard in a man?
Oh, really? Okay, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Being a Miller myself.
Of course.
Spelt the correct way.
That's right.
None of this
AR
A bullshit.
I know. When people ask me, like, is it ARE, I get mad. I'm like, no, come on now. It's always ER. It's never AR.
Travelwatch nearly never gave me a room because I turned up and my bank card said ER. It was like, we've got you down as AR, mate.
Like it makes a difference. You must be a different person.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I hate the R's as well. They didn't have a profession. You know, we're men of profession.
Exactly.
We had Millers in our family at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Let me in your damn travel lodge.
Well, we're going to get things started with some questions anyway, because that's why you're here, okay? So we'll start off with the recent awards. So Video Gamer won big at this year Games Media Awards, with the whole team winning the Video Team Award, and then yourself picking up the coveted Journalist Award.
Yeah.
So with those awards now sitting on your shelf, what's next for yourself in Video Gamer? Do you have any plans for your channel and website in future, or are you going to stick to the winning formula of skits, real talk, and a little bit of WWE?
Well, yeah, definitely a little bit of WWE. That's not going anywhere. I'll die before I let that go away. In terms of what's next, that's a very good question, because everything that happened at the GMAs was awesome. Obviously, it's always nice to be recognised, even if some people look down on the GMAs and stuff. But look, it's an award ceremony, and it's always nice for the people that win. It's always something you can take on with you, and also it's a nice recognition of the stuff you're doing. It kind of makes you go, all right, the stuff we're doing is working. Let's keep doing it, But like I say, you've got to keep evolving. You've got to keep changing as well. So I think our spirit or our mindset now is, okay, we're onto something. We've got a formula. People like that formula. So, let's evolve it. Let's keep things ticking over and let's keep growing it. But, rooted in the kind of foundations we've got now. So skits will stay. Not taking things too seriously will stay. Wrestling will be what leads us forward, be it actual fights or storylines. And hopefully we can just keep growing and keep getting bigger, and because I think the thing that we all love the most is the we get really good. Our audience is really engaged in what we do. Whether that's negative or positive. They give us both, which is great. You got to have both those things, and they really really enjoy what we do. And I think that to us is really important. So if we can keep growing on that, keep building the audience, but keeping that engagement strong, then yeah. But I think definitely take it day by day. We've got loads of ideas and stuff we want. Some are going to work. Some aren't going to work, but we'll try it all, and we'll see where we get to. Hopefully, we're onto something. Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll keep on creating.
I definitely think you're getting that evolution, because you had the first ever Patreon guest on your podcast the other week, because and then you're developing even more characters. Like you got your Millbob and your Brian Krantz.
Well, I think Brian Krantz especially is just. What even is that? I don't even know. I think any of us know. It's just some weird, ridiculous man who the whole point of him is to be awful. That was the whole point. Let's create someone who is awful, who is genuinely just, he's so awful and he's so just a knob, basically, that he goes full circle and you kind of warm to him. And it was just, we thought we'd put it out there. If it dies on its ass, it doesn't matter. It's something you can cross off the list of things that we have to do, which is great. Knowing what doesn't work is sometimes just supporting us, knowing what does work. So, yeah, we've got more ideas as well. We've got a few more people we want to introduce in the coming weeks and months. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I love the seeing the right to reply on Bryan Cranston's hilarious. I mean, you've always got the right to reply bait where people just want to get onto it, but I mean, some people definitely do think he's being serious about, like, even the granny boss in Half-Life.
It's like the best thing about stuff like that is some people genuinely think we think this is some kind of highbrow humour. We're well aware that jokes like that are bottom of the barrel, done to make you roll your eyes and go, what the fuck are you talking about? But I think that's half the fun of it when you do a joke like that. Is some people will get it, they'll roll their eyes with you, and it's just so stupid you can't help but laugh. But the internet being the internet, some people are like, this is just preposterous, and it's like, it's just, who cares? Who cares?
A recent example was the Assassin's Creed Syndicate review that you did for it, and the amount of people that thought that was serious was unbelievable. Like,
I mean,
I thought that was personally hilarious. Yeah,
I know, it's incredible, and I think you have to kind of take that in your stride, because we all know what the internet can be like. Some people are just out there to try and get a rise. And just, you could do anything. You could, go into their house and steal their diary and read out all the things that they want to happen. And go, I don't like that. That's preposterous. Because they're just on there to, to be dickheads and stuff. So, you got to take that stuff and just roll with it. That's what I mean by why the engagement's really good. Because the people that like our stuff seems to really like our stuff. And that's the kind of stuff you've got to focus on. That's like the best barometer to go by. And, I enjoy all the... I mean, sometimes, a negative comment will knock you for six. But mostly I love all that stuff. I think it's hilarious. The fact that you can, the way using WWE, I always look at it like it's, you want to be the John Cena of video games. Yeah. If people love you, great. If people hate you, great. But if they don't care about you, well, that's terrible. That's the worst. If people are indifferent to you, then you're definitely doing something wrong. So, as long as we can be the John Cena, where there's a reaction and people care, then, I'm all right with the odd, well, quite more than the odd, quite a few people coming on and calling us pricks and stuff. That's fine. We are pricks. We definitely are pricks, so it's fine.
Actually, I met Gav Murphy at an IGN event one day, and I said, I love the video gamer guys. They're pricks, but they know they're pricks, so that worked out quite well.
It's true.
Look, you killed him, didn't you?
He's dead, yeah. Gav Murphy Regan died in a horrible plane crash, but bless him, he's still going. But no, we're the first to admit we're a bunch of morons, and hopefully people know we don't take ourselves seriously at all. That's kind of the point. So.
Can I ask, who in the video gamer office have you come closest to really putting through a table?
I don't think it's ever got to that. I mean, there's always sort of kind of things that we never disagree on anything. But I think there's obviously, if we're coming up with an idea, you're always going to get some people that want to go right and some people that want to go left. But I don't think it's ever got to a point where it's like, right, you're going through a table, man, and out the window. I mean, I'm trying to think. Has anyone done anything? No, I mean, the only person I would have put through a table is Brett before he left. Because he was the only one that really would take bumps. He loved taking a bump. Everyone else is like Hogan. They won't take bumps. It's like, come on, guys. So, but it's all right. We're sorting out. We got plans and stuff.
They're all racists.
yeah, exactly. They're all middle-aged racists who got fired from the WWE.
Starting up their own porno.
Now that Brett's gone, like as he's just gone to work at the indie, have you thought about who's going to be THQ partner in crime for the Two Idiots series?
No, that is actually something we do need to figure out. I mean, I think we'll wait till we hire a replacement. I know interviews and stuff are going on now. And I think it all depends on who comes in, and then we'll decide what to do. But we will bring that back in some sense. It's difficult because you can do that series with everyone, as long as Dave's involved, because some of the things he comes out with are proposed. But you need someone who gets wound up. I think that's half the fun. And I think me, Jim, and Burns are just quite tolerant of that stuff rather than getting mad. But we'll figure it out. There's always a way.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the 7 seconds challenge video the other day, and when he falls off the sofa into all the peripherals, I died of laughter.
I filmed that, and you noticed the camera shaking because I was just like, this is just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And a lot of people thought he planned that fall. Dave doesn't plan anything. He just fell. He fell because he thought he could balance on the sofa. What an idiot. But yeah, that was great. I like that video.
You could always, you could always just bring back the Brett that everyone liked better than Brett, who's Oscar.
Yeah, you could bring back. I mean, he was a good guy, Oscar. Actually, yeah, he came in for work experience and stuff. But no, he got it. Yeah, he got it, and I think he probably would have been a good replacement. But alas, he wants to finish his education, which is good, kids. That's what you should do. Finish your education.
Balls to that.
Well, exactly.
What does that get you?
Nowhere. He'll be in VG in like 2 years. But shit, what a waste of time.
I'm paying $4,000 a year for an education. I'd better be getting something out of it, Vienna.
Move to Scotland. We get it free here. It's great.
Yeah, you see, yeah. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Now, we've seen you play a number of roles in skits in the Video Gamer YouTube channel. Are there any new characters you're working on? And if you, I know you sort of touched on that earlier, and if you could make a full documentary centred around one of your characters, which one would you choose?
That's a great question. There's definitely new characters coming. I can tell you that much. They're being chatted about and kind of ironed out at the moment. And when they'll appear, I don't know. But when the idea kind of fits, they'll arrive. If you had asked me this a few weeks ago, I probably would have said, Miller in inverted commas, as I always refer to him as, because I just think he's such an awful human being that you can do so much with him. But given the reaction to Bryan Cranston over the last few weeks, I think you could come. I mean, I don't think we'll do it with him because most characters we do kind of build in backstory and these. Yeah. We kind of give them. I don't think that will happen with Krantz. I think we'll keep Krantz completely as shallow as possible to back up the idea of him, which is he's supposed to be a moron. But yeah, I think now, given the reaction and given how polarizing he is and how mad people get at those videos, I kind of like him. He's kind of grown on me because he's just such an awful man. So I think you could probably build quite a funny documentary about, his what's the word I'm looking for?
Indie game development.
But yeah, his rise to indie game development and what he was like as a kid. But I still think out of all the characters, I don't know, for me, it's always, Miller, who I think always has the most legs when it comes to that kind of stuff because, he is like, he says things that nobody should say. He thinks things that nobody should think. And as soon as you can start doing that stuff, you can just keep using him for anything because he gets away with it because everyone knows what he's supposed to be. So when if you're going to do something like that, the ideas you can come up with, well, he'll do them all because he's an awful man. Where Bryan Cranston is more of I can't think of the right word. He's pretentious, isn't he? He's a pretentious, just like know-it-all who actually knows nothing. But one of those two, I think, definitely. I don't think Milbob and Jiminy Jim could be involved in a fake documentary for more than 10 minutes without killing people.
Well, you've only got
all be merged together into one sort of office type documentary with the same characters.
Yeah, I think
I'm actually like Ryan Davis. I hope you're watching this actually because you work in television and you're coming with ideas, man. There, so I think you should be watching this and writing down in your little notebook.
And hey, if we do that as well, we can work in Old Dar, we can work in Tam McLeish. They're all there.
Yeah,
the cast of characters right there.
Exactly correct. Luke, next question.
Well, I was just going to say, even with Bryan Cranston, if you're making a documentary, you could have him present his own documentary on himself. I mean, he's just he's that type of person who's going to do that strolling towards the camera and just walk off into the distance.
Exactly, that's what he'd do. He'd float. He'd just somehow float across.
Ascend, yeah.
So, following on from that, how do you come up with these characters like Miller and Milbob and Bryan Cranston? I mean, they're just so out there. I'm not the most creative person, but I don't think I could come up with all these characters by myself. And I'm sure you all have input as a team into the characters, but I mean, they're just hilarious.
Well, Milbob is actually like the most. It was never meant to become like a regular character. I'll be completely honest with you. I was on YouTube over the weekend before we did his first video, and I watched a video that had a very, very listy / YouTubey title, and it had done an incredible amount of views. And I was just in one of those moods. I was like, I'm mad about this. I'm mad. The guy presenting it has no. He's just mad. He just shout. YouTubers, and I've got all the time in the world for those guys because. It's all well and good to sort of look down on them, but they're really successful. So who's the joke really on? It's
exactly.
But I still watched it, and I was still. Don't get me wrong, it's lost on me entirely. I can't get any enjoyment out of it whatsoever. I don't get it. I was just completely perplexed. So on Monday, I just walked in and I said, Jim, come with me. I just said, I said, all I want you to do is look at me like I'm scum. That's what I said to him. I said, look at me like I'm scum, and then at any given point. I want you to just turn to me and tell me to shut up. I want you to embody my frustration with thing and tell me to shut up. He went, all right. And then we just did it. Because the thing is, in that first one we did, I was wearing the Miller Report top. That was an accident because we just filmed the Miller Report for that week. And I said to Jim, Jim, let's go film this real quick. It's only going to be a quick skit. It's going to be a one and done. It's just like a piss take of YouTubers. And it's at the end of the video when I was, I said, oh, flip's sake, I forgot to change. But because it was just going to be, like I say, a one-off, that was like a joke poking fun at the internet, I thought it doesn't matter. Like, we'd throw in a Miller joke at the end and pretend there's some connection. But then we did it, and everybody really, really enjoyed it. So it's kind of one of the things I said to everyone else, I said, look, let's just keep doing them until the joke is run into the ground. And is worn completely thin that we can't do any more. But as of yet, that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So that literally was born out of, just me watching a YouTube video that had a similar title and a similar presenter and going, what is this? I don't understand it at all. And I couldn't even tell you where Krantz came from. I mean, Krantz is just, I don't even know. It was a conversation we had and I said, wouldn't it be funny if there was a video that was just utter nonsense and completely made up? And we all went, all right, let's do it and see what happens. Because it's funny, even with this is getting like when actors talk about characters and stuff. But it is true, like,
it becomes pretentious as Brian Krantz.
Well, that's the thing. But it's awful. I can't stand it. I can't stand it when people do it. But if you do watch there's been 3 Brian Krantz videos now. He's completely different now to how he was in the first video, and I have no idea why. He just is. So sometimes there's no thought for it. It's just. It would be funnier if he was a bit nuts and zany than calm and subdued. So it happened. So, a lot of them just come up off the cuff. Like, the Miller Report stuff, like we said before, was completely just, it wouldn't, it was never meant to be a weekly thing. It just kind of happened. And then people liked it. So we kept giving it to it. It wasn't, I'd love to tell you it was this grand plan and we all sat down like, yeah, we've got this. But it wasn't. It was kind of like week by week, what could we do? Well, we could do this. All right, let's do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I love the development you put in, like, just all the characters. I mean, you've had Miller from whenever he started off in Piss Morning, but like Millbob the other week with the whenever it was like best sex in games, he just becomes all flustered. I love that video.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best Millbob video we've done. And again, that was just because it was like, what environment could you put like a stereotypical YouTuber in that they probably wouldn't be able to handle? And it was like, well, they're all kids. I mean, that's the joke. YouTubers are all
just
kids.
Living in their mum and dad's basement.
Exactly, yeah. And imagine if you broach the subject of sex to them, be like, I want to talk about sex on camera that everybody can watch. And it was literally that. But it seemed to go down well, so that's all good.
Yeah, and will we be seeing Burns, Tom, and James taking on more characters?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, like it's an open door. It's an open door policy. I mean, I think Tom just prefers playing himself when he does this stuff. He's got a very specific acting style, does Tom. So I think he's quite happy to stick with that. And I don't know, but like I say, Burns is. I think Burns likes playing that character, which I think he just gets a kick out of it. But if anyone comes up with any other thing they want to do, we'll just do it, and we'll see what happens. And if it's
see what the reaction
exactly
is,
if it bombs, that's great because like I say, cross it off a list and go, okay, that one doesn't work. That's great. That's good. That is good feedback to have. It's good information.
Yeah. As gaming is becoming more widely regarded as a proper form of entertainment and is no longer seen exclusively for the nerds, with a number of video game movies are being made, and some are actually going to come out next year, aren't they? Like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Which video game would you like to be seen made into the big screen?
Gears of War.
Right. What my next question is, who do you have play Marcus Phoenix?
That is a great question because I always said, like, if you do that movie, and they were going to do it one time, I think, but Dom just cast Dave Bautista from WWE, who is now a big action star. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's in Spectre, and he looks just like him. So that one's done.
Sorted.
Would you be up for Marcus Phoenix then?
I'll play Marcus Phoenix, hell yeah. I'll do it. I can't do that voice though, that's the only problem. I don't know, who the hell would you get to play? Because the problem with those things is, as big as video games are, you still need like the Hollywood presence to sell them. So I remember with the Prince of Persia, you have Jake Gyllenhaal in the lead role, which I don't think would be your first casting choice for that thing, but he's a big Hollywood name. Who the hell would I put in that role? I don't know. That's a great question. Vin Diesel. No, The Rock. There you go. Put The Rock as Marcus Phoenix.
Well, just a whole wrestling cast. The Rock, Batista, Trish Stratus.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know, you know what I mean?
Why not? Just get them all in there. But I'd go watch a Gears. I mean, because I love Gears of War, but I'd go watch a Gears of War movie. Otherwise, I'm not going to watch the Assassin's Creed movie. That's because I hate Assassin's Creed. What other movie would I make into? I don't know, actually. Maybe Halo. That'd be interesting, because they made that film ages ago that was kind of like Halo, and that was actually all right. I can't remember what it was called. District 9. That was actually...
Yeah, as long as Blomkamp... Well, that was Blomkamp. He was tied on to do the Halo movie.
That's right.
Ended up in District 9, so yeah. That was all Blomkamp. He's made Alien movie, though, so I'm all right with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, keep him away from everything else.
My wife asked if you want to hoard with her. I said hoard.
I'll hoard with anyone, man. If someone's up for some hoard, I'm in. I'll do it.
I tell you, November 11th, backwards compatible. I'm a happy man. Gears of War 3 hoard is what I'm all about.
Oh, damn right, man. Damn right.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just hilarious. But I mean, you make no secret of the fact that you don't like horror games, especially in the 2 Cards series.
Yeah.
I mean, but what was your worst experience with a horror game, and what is the scariest experience you've had in a non-horror game?
In the non-horror game, I've told this before on the Video Gamer podcast, it's the most embarrassing thing ever. I got scared playing Call of Duty 2, which doesn't have any scares in it, but it was that part where you're walking through a village in France or something, and you keep having to go through these houses to clear them out, and guys would just pop up at the top of the staircase. And I'm so bad with that stuff. I jumped. I'm like, Miller, you've got serious issues. But, I mean, the 2 Coward stuff, I hate doing it. I genuinely... People think... I mean, maybe you play up to the camera a bit subconsciously, but it's not... I don't play them in my free time. I hate horror games. And I think the worst one, which gloriously was caught on camera, was the PT, I think is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Like, a lot of people kind of... They think it's a work, because you do see a lot of, scary playthroughs, but none of that is put on. If only it was. If only I was that good at doing it. I'd do it all the time, but... No, yeah, PT... Because PT as well, especially, was... I didn't really know what it was when we sat down to play it. Obviously, all that kind of intrigue at Gamescom when it came out, and everyone was like, what's this? And, so when I got in the next day, people just said, oh, Mill, have you heard about this PT? I said, well, kind of. I know it's Kojima and it's a playable teaser, but I don't know anything about it. They said, just go play it with Dave. So we'd done a few... We'd done Outlast and some other stuff. So we're like, okay, we'll go play it. And I had I've never played a horror game that within kind of 10 seconds, the atmosphere just makes you feel like you're trapped and claustrophobic. And I was like, I can't handle this. I can't handle Call of Duty 2. How am I going to handle PT? So that was the worst. We got one going up for Halloween, or on Halloween, depending on when this goes live. And that was, again, a game I didn't know much about, and I kind of approached it. That was really bad. I mean, there's some embarrassing moments on that. But it's a game called Layers of Fear on the Xbox One. Oh, I hate it.
I've played it.
I can't handle that stuff.
It's just creepy.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
Coming out of paintings and stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what scared me. I used to have to play Alien Isolation in 20-minute sittings.
Yeah, me too.
Because I physically couldn't take anymore.
But that's the worst thing about sort of critically acclaimed games that are scale, like Bioshock. With Bioshock, I was living in a flat at the time with 2 other guys. I had to close the door. I had a sign on it. And this is how sad I am when it comes to this stuff, saying, do not burst in. Because they thought it'd be hilarious, like kick the door, they go, Miller. It's like, no, don't do it, because I will lose my temper and go crazy. So, that's the thing, because you want to play them. Like Alien Isolation, you want to play that game because everyone's going nuts about it. But then you sit down with it. Yeah, I played it in bursts. I can't play that game for more than hour max, and then I have to leave it for a week. So, I don't know why I'm so bad at it.
I done it in Oculus. I done an event, and it was an Oculus, and I was more worried about me shitting myself
in a public place,
like fans and journalists and all that, than actually playing the game. You know what I mean?
I
was trying to die.
Yes, you get out. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah,
well, I played Kitchen on Sony's Morpheus, and that was. I mean, I couldn't play a horror game that lasted but that was a full experience through that. I mean, the Kitchen demo was about 3 minutes long, and that was enough for me. Like, it wasn't sort of too much, but horror games build and the atmosphere builds. And if I did that after 25 minutes, if PT was in VR like that, no way.
Too much.
Yeah, I'd probably actually die.
Yeah, I didn't find Bioshock. I didn't find that bad. I mean, it was more of the psychological stuff, and I like watching like psychological horror films.
Yeah.
But it's the jump scare. Like, jump scares seem just so lazy. Like, they're just out to get you.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah, like but with PT, like I was like, right, I'm gonna have to finish this sometime because everyone's talking about it. And then you get round, and I'm like, right, I'll do this. You sit down, you go through the corridor once, and you're like, no, I'm out. No, I'm gone.
Well, that's the weird thing, especially about PT, because you tell yourself it's not that bad, because it's not that bad. But then as soon as you sit down with it, it's definitely that bad. And so I don't understand why. It's really well made, PT.
But I think like the worst thing about it, I mean, first person, you're putting yourself in the situation. Like, you physically have to move yourself to scare yourself. That's like, you have to do it. But I mean, like I bought, because it's Halloween soon, and PSN always have their sales, so they had the Halloween sale, and I bought Outlast, and I went on to your channel and looked up the Outlast playthrough, and I was like, what the hell have I got myself in for?
Well, Outlast, I mean, some of the jump scares in Outlast are really clever. Like, they come at you when you're not expecting it. And I almost finished Outlast, though. That's a great game. It's one, again, I hate it when those games like get me and I want to finish it, because you think this is going to be an ordeal. But Outlast is great.
That's a sequel announced as well, wasn't it, today? That's a sequel announced for next December.
Oh, it looked more like you'd be in like a religious cult or something like that. Because there was a burning crucifix or cross or something.
Wonderful. I look forward to that then.
We'll definitely be seeing that on the channel then, will we?
Right, I've got a few quick fire ones for you here, right?
All right, cool.
So, does working so closely in your hobby diminish your enjoyment? I think he's talking about gaming and not being a professional wrestler.
I think it's like any job. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, if you're stressed at work and you're dealing with games all the day, you go home and you don't want to play games. But I think more often than not, games are toys. Do you know what I mean? And even if you had a stressful day dealing with games, you can go home and play a game and it's actually relax me. It's kind of like 50-50. If you had a really shit day, sometimes you just want to push it to one side, but mostly, games are just fun, escapes from reality. So
escapism. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. So no, not like if you're a dentist and you can't look at teeth. I don't think there's anything like that. But
close your eyes when you're brushing your teeth.
Would you rather caress a dolphin or a platypus?
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Yeah, no reason. Fine. I just think they'd be friendlier.
Yeah. If you're a hedgehog, would you cross the road?
Definitely. Always look forward. Always power through. Never stand still.
Best moment in career?
Oh, jeez. GMA's was pretty good. I like that. Otherwise, in terms of sort of like more than a moment, right now is the best, because I just think I feel like we're onto something different, onto something original, and I'm excited. I'm excited where it's going to go. So right now.
Yeah, how'd you get into your job at Video Gamer? Because didn't you work at Sony before, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I mean my career was in terms of getting into video games. Yeah, I was working in a cinema after university. Going, why did I just spend all that money on an English course to work in the cinema? There's nothing wrong with working in a cinema, but that wasn't the plan. So you're like, what? That was my summer job throughout university, and then I was still there, and I'm like, this is fine, but I feel like I've just spent 12 grand on nothing. And then I saw an advert in the Guardian for a job at Sony, like being a junior copywriter. So I was like, well, I'll apply for it because it's in games and I want to do something with games. And then I somehow managed to blag my way through the interview, and that was that. So I started writing. I wrote the manual for Buzz Junior Jungle Party. So
everyone remembers that. Yeah, I know. And the manual exclusively. That was some brilliant manual work. Honestly, some manual work.
I know.
It sounds like a hand job.
And
sorry, I don't know.
I did the back of the box as well. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, you done the back of the box?
Yeah, it's all me. It's all Simon Miller specials. That
are these all euphemisms or?
Oh, yes, all they are. They're an innuendo.
What's your weirdest phobia?
Weirdest phobia. It's not really a phobia, but I don't understand photography. Photography freaks me out. I understand how it works, but sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, that makes no sense. How it makes no sense.
So let me guess, your job title is head of video.
Exactly. Photography scares the shit out of me. In terms of things, nice. I don't think I have any like sort of super weird phobias. I don't like heights, but that's not weird, is it? A lot of people don't like heights.
Yeah, I think it's more the fear of just falling from that thing. Like.
Oh yeah, exactly.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Wrestler.
Perfect. Easy answer. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
Wrestler.
Another easy answer.
Hang on, Ross, what's your biggest phobia then?
My biggest phobia, tomato sauce. Absolutely.
Oh really?
Stuff.
Does it scare you?
In the fridge or the cupboard?
Well, as a kid, you know that way when your parents actually like feed you all this like shapes in tomato sauce, like when you're a baby or a young kid. I must have hated it because when I grew up, I can't even go into McDonald's.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
These people because there's a running question: do you keep your tomato ketchup in the fridge or in the cupboard?
I keep it in the cupboard. Yeah, I don't keep it in the fridge. That's bad, right?
Yeah, well, I keep it in the fucking bin.
Exactly, it's where it deserves to be. Damn right.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, I think I might have already asked you this inadvertently through Twitter, but what's the biggest animal you can knock out with one punch?
Oh, gorilla. I say this all the time. And everyone goes, you couldn't knock out a gorilla. I went, let's see what happens. You get me that gorilla and we'll have a fight. I mean, I will die, obviously, but I'll try and do it.
our indie editor, she said a giraffe.
Yeah.
If she had a step ladder.
Yeah.
Rory Powers said, what was his answer?
Elephant.
An elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elephant's
so
good. You get his trunk.
If he gets shrunk.
Yeah, get his trunk, twist it up a bit. Elephant's going to be scared. He's going to back off. You're like, right, elephant, you're going down.
And just punch it right in the trunk.
It's so much trunk. It's so many places to hit it.
Well, actually, we had this training thing in work the other week, and there was just a bit of information about, do you know in zoos, the elephants are just tied to this wee tiny stick? It's because when they were younger, they were tied to this massive stick and it wouldn't move. So if you go for an elephant that's in the zoo, you can probably take it down quite easily because they'll be scared of anything.
Well, there you go. Easy.
That's and on that fact, I think we can call this interview to a little bit of a close because our 30-minute session with you is up.
Just
we stay on the line once I stop this, or we stay on for us and do us a couple intros if that's all right.
Yeah, of course, man. Anything you want.
Yeah.
Just one more, Ross. Is Miller on the Miller Report actually dead now?
I can't answer that, can I? That would be... All I ever say is a few people have asked that is if you don't watch, you don't know. But what I will say is... How can I phrase this? Does anyone die in wrestling? There you go. That's the way. Has anyone... Or, if someone gets written off TV, why, are they coming back? Probably.
Owen Hart did.
He really got written.
To be fair, yeah, we all seen it.
Him and Benoit really did get written off TV, but no, I mean, just just keep. I enjoy that character too much to let him die forever. That's what I say. That's a little spoiler for the podcast.
Is there room for the Millers Report?
Yeah, well, damn right, man. It's got to evolve, right? It's got to get bigger. And also,
the Millers Report.
Let's face it.
Is there too many overweight Glaswegians about you to?
There's never too many. Look, the way I look at it is, right, Miller he needs friends. He's got no friends. That's what people forget. He's got one friend in the world, which is Tam McLeish, so he needs more friends. So, I think that getting an extra Miller in there would be a good idea.
I'll wait for the call then for the Millers Report coming up.
Yeah, damn right.
Okay.
Right.
But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much. No, I want to give you an opportunity. You're in a band, plug it. Go for it.
I am in a band. Yeah, I'm in a band. It's the awfully entitled MG and the Juggernaut because it's a long story. We won't get into it. But yeah, it's a metal band. We're from Bournemouth because that's where it was formed. So we always say we're on the south coast. But you can find us at MG Juggernaut on Twitter. If you search MG Juggernaut on Facebook, you'll find us as well. And we got a load of stuff on iTunes, Bandcamp, Amazon Music. Look, if it's a digital streaming service or a digital download service of music, type in MG and the Juggernaut. And hey, if you like it, that rocks. If you don't like it, that rocks too. Because, music's subjective and stuff. But it is it's Metallica, basically. It's Metallica type metal. If you like that stuff, check out MG and the Juggernaut. And, I think you'll enjoy it. I'm a confident man.
I've had a listen. I did enjoy it, and it's not my bag usually. I like Twinkle Twinkle music, so...
I love to. Everyone loves Twinkle Twinkle music.
Yeah, but, what's not to love? But I did quite enjoy it. So.
Yeah,
but we need something to do a wrestling pod intro if you fancy doing that, or music for that. Thank you so much for coming on. As I said, it's very rare that we've got an award-winning journalist on here. You know
you're too kind, man. I'm more than happy to do it, dude. It's all good.
We had Mike Micah. We've got an IGN guy coming up. This is a new level. You know what I mean? The sky's the limit for Out of Lice now.
Damn right. This is going to open the door. Everyone's going to be coming in. This is it now. It's big time.
And thank you, Luke, for joining me. The first time on the Out of Lice podcast. He's one of our writers on the site anyway, but thank you. But anyway, Simon, stay on so we can get a couple of intros. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in Out of Lice Minicast. And we'll return with a normal Halloween special. And I think that will go live on Monday. See you all later. That was a shit outro.